Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Batman issue 56. Does Nightwing survive getting shot by an unknown shooter? Well, hopefully this is what this issue was supposed to reveal, but it doesn't. No, Batman issue 56 involves, we actually finally, it's confirmed that the person who actually shot Nightwing was KGBeast. For long-time readers like myself, I could infer that. You could make that guess last issue, but last issue it never specifically said it was KGBeast, but you could infer that from a number of different clues. And in any event, so this issue involves Batman just looking for the KGBeast, and KGBeast visiting his father in Siberia, we think. There's a lot of vagueness going on in this issue. It's very disjointed. It's sort of, it jumps from scene to scene in a way that doesn't really focus on Batman's detective skills all that well. There's strange character appearances here that don't make a lot of sense. But it's somewhere along the way, I can see where Tom King's going with this story, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that just don't really work for me. The most disappointing thing about this issue is, aside from the beautiful cover, look at that. I mean, it's a foil cover, it's a beautiful drawn cover, and the art is, on the interior is really good too. So once again, Tom King has got the best artist, because he needs him, because his writing isn't the greatest on Batman. It's getting worse and worse and worse, but Daniel and Maury on the cover, and pencils are Tony S. Daniel, or pencils on the inside. Excellent job of the inside. The disappointing thing about this again, and it seems to be, Tom King seems to be getting, he doesn't seem to be doing a good job in trying to convey any emotion. Like, if Batman is still reeling from the effects of the breakup at the wedding, I'd like to see Batman show some emotion. I mean, Nightwing got shot in the head last issue, and he's still alive. We don't know what the status of Nightwing is. Tom King doesn't even address that here. For that, you got to go over to the pages of Nightwing issue 50, which is a really good issue. But the point is that Tom King doesn't even bother addressing by far the more important issues, questions that people have flowing out of issue 55. I mean, my God, Nightwing just gets shot, and then we go to this issue, and then we get some cliche-ridden tropes of Batman literally he's just going... All Batman does is that there's a bunch of pointless scenes with him basically first he's interrogating a bad guy, a wasted page, finds out nothing. Then he's talking to the Bronze Tagger, fighting a bunch of ninjas. All these scenes are disconnected. Bronze Tagger, I don't know, he gets some information from Bronze Tagger about KGBeast that Batman has certainly got to already know from past continuity, but I guess this is new continuity. This is Tom King's continuity, so I guess he's ignoring all the past continuity. Batman knows who KGBeast is, but pretends he, I guess, doesn't in this continuity. And so he talks to Bronze Tagger, and I'm not sure if Bronze Tagger thinks that KGBeast is a member, or was he a member of the League of Assassins? Bronze Tagger seems to think that KGBeast, where could he possibly be? All Bronze Tagger says is that he's a real badass, and Batman, he's the one guy that can kill you. He's, he's Russian, he's highly trained, yada, yada, yada. But beyond that, Batman asks, well, who trained him, etc., etc., and Bronze Tagger says, all the people that trained KGBeast are dead, because KGBeast would go to a master, the master would teach him everything he knew, and then at the end, KGBeast would kill his master to cover his tracks. And, and that's really all Bronze Tagger tells him. And then Bronze Tagger at the end says, I heard about the thing between you and Selina, and now your kid. Nightwing's not his kid, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know why he thinks it's his kid. I know that thing, so when he says, I know about that thing with you and Selina, and now your kid, you're in the middle of a lot of hurt. Maybe this isn't the best path for you. Alright, except why would they think that? Batman doesn't show emotion. Tom King hasn't had Batman show any emotion even to the readers. I mean, the last time we saw Batman show emotion was as Bruce Wayne when he ripped the urinal off a wall in the Mr. Freeze series. It would be really nice if Batman would have taken some time off just once in this issue to show some emotion. to maybe have a scene with him looking at Nightwing or Dick Grayson in the hospital, or to see him recover, to show some sort of humanness, because it's not fitting Tom King's narrative. We all know what Tom King's trying to do, only because Tom King has told us in interviews what he's trying to do. It is not evident in his actual writing. That's the tragedy of his writing. I mean, we shouldn't have to listen to a Tom King interview to find out what the heck he wanted to try to convey. Because looking straight as an issue here, it's an okay issue. It's Batman randomly kicking a bunch of people's asses and finally locates KGBeast in Russia. And that's juxtaposed against scenes of KGBeast going and visiting his father for the first time in 27 years for the express purpose of apparently killing his father. Just at the time when... So apparently he's fleeing Gotham. So KGBeast, follow me on this. Because this is the logic of this writing. Crazy. KGBeast is paid a lot of money, presumably by Bane. But I guess that's not in the story, so we have to guess that. KGBeast is paid a lot of money by somebody, and he reveals this to his dad, to basically go and to kill Batman's son, so to speak. I don't know why they call him son. It's not his son. It's Nightwing. It's his war. I guess calling it's his war. Whatever. That's a nitpick. That's probably a nitpick. But it bothers me. It's not his son. It's not his son. People are going to confuse that with Damien. It's not his son. But you kill Batman's son. Okay, so KGBeast is hired to kill Batman's son. Okay, so KGBeast does that. And now Tom King thinks it's important that we know he rewrites the history of KGBeast. In particular, he says that the reason why KGBeast is called KGBeast is because KGBeast's real name. Let's get his real name first of all. His real name is Anatoly Knyazev. Anatoly Knyazev. All right. Okay. So we'll call him Anatoly. Anatoly, KGBeast, never got along with his dad. Anatoly killed his mother, killed his sisters, and his dad was a badass. And the only reason young Anatoly never killed his father was because he felt his father was strong. So then he left. His father was an alcoholic. He now returns to his father 27 years later. His father is now apparently sobered up, but his father's going to have a drink with him. He gives his father a shot of whiskey. His father calls him weak. Because he notices that Anatoly has lost his arm, and he lost his arm in one of his fights against Batman. And he calls him weak, and then Anatoly shoots his father in the head. That's it. Meanwhile, while all that's happening, it's juxtaposed with issues with Batman, going through all these motions, and finally ending up in this house in Siberia, where Anatoly's father lives. And I'm assuming that there's going to be a confrontation next issue between the two. So, it's, you know what, in that respect, this is another example of, and I've said this so many times about Tom King, and I'm going to say it again. If you read this issue in isolation, it's kind of fun. It's Batman not showing any emotion, again. So, if you don't know that Nightwing was shot in the previous issue, and by the way, you'd be hard-pressed to know that, again, because there's no reference to Nightwing in the entire issue being shot. There's a reference to Alfred saying that Master Dick is Sir. So Alfred doesn't say anything about Nightwing's condition. Batman doesn't even inquire about it. And he's just focused on finding KGBeast, which I guess you can understand, but again, if you want to convey this sense that Batman is slowly losing it, that Bane is slowly psychologically destroying him, this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it at all. Also, there's, if Batman is supposed to be trying to figure out where KGBeast is, there's little evidence. There isn't a great deal of evidence of his detective skills in here, but again, not a big deal. I'm nitpicking. I guess it's all right. One interesting little nitpick. Kanto from New Gods lore, from Apocalypse. Kanto is normally on Apocalypse. For those that were wondering, Tom King in writing Mr. Miracle, there's some talk about a lot of the people that died in Mr. Miracle, like Orion and Light Ray. If that's there's some concern about whether or not they're actually really dead. Are the events of Mr. Miracle just taking place in Scott Free's head, or are they actually happening? Is it actually in continuity? Tom King has insisted that Mr. Miracle is in DC continuity, and Kanto is a new guy. Kanto was in Mr. Miracle, but now all of a sudden he shows up here on Earth. Now what's odd about that is, continuity-wise, it's really screwed up, because Darkseid is not on Apocalypse, but yet he's on Apocalypse in Mr. Miracle. So how can Mr. Miracle be in continuity when Darkseid is not on Apocalypse? Darkseid is in space in Justice League Odyssey. Meanwhile, Kanto here now is no longer in Apocalypse. Kanto here is apparently suddenly captures Batman, but Batman let himself be captured by Kanto, apparently, just to find out some more information about KGBeast, because apparently Kanto, who is a weapons builder on Apocalypse, he builds weapons. Apparently he knows KGBeast. This is news to me. I didn't know this. But, it's kind of interesting. Sets up a scene, but it's kind of jarring. And it's a very jarring transition as it jumps from scene to scene. And, it's just very, I just feel it's disjointed. It's all right, but it's disjointed. I don't feel there's what I was really looking for, I was looking for some emotional impact. I was looking for Batman actually affected, somehow show how he's affected by what happened in Nightwing. Even when he was a member of the jury, he ripped a urinal off the wall. He was affected by the situation that even Mr. Freeze found himself in. Batman has no reaction. No point in the wedding issue. Batman did not react to the breakdown, to Selina leaving him at the altar. No emotional reaction there. There was very little emotion on the part of Batman throughout the first 50 issues in regard to Selina in the first place. He never opened up to Selina. He never revealed anything personal to Selina, other than in the War on Jokes and Riddles. He basically told Selina, yeah, the Joker prevented me from killing the Riddler. Whoop-de-doo. Where's the emotional connections? Where are these moments that we see? We've had some great one-shot moments with Batman and Batman Annual 2, which is basically an imaginary story that takes place in the future. So I know that Tom King is really good at being able to do those moments, and there's even the Best Friends series. Well, that the storyline with Superman and Lois Lane when they double dated, when Selina and Batman double dated Superman and Lois Lane. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, those are some good scenes there, but even there wasn't a lot of. Those are good character moments per se in terms of how they interacted vis-a-vis each other, but nothing really revealing in terms of Batman himself. Batman was still largely silent and monosyllabic. Now, you might say that, well, that's just how Batman is. Well, okay, fine. But then don't pretend that you're doing something new with Batman when you are not actually doing anything new with Batman. This is not revealing anything about Batman. This is still the same Batman from pretty much any time I've read Batman, really. This is the same Batman. He's still largely devoid of emotion. He's not expressing any. Whether he's happy or sad, he's the same Batman. Tom King, you haven't distinguished your Batman yet, other than making disjointed stories and ignoring continuity, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But it is what it is. I just don't. I've been off the Tom King love train for a while here, but this is just one of those issues that continues to sort of seal it. Again, I'm looking for some actual results of Batman reacting to Nightwing's death, and this is what I get. What a disappointment! What a disappointment! But hey, I'm sure we're gonna get a good fight between KGBeast and Batman next issue. So that'll be great. It'll be another excuse for a great artist like Tony Daniel to show off his talents, or some other artist, because Tom King needs it, because the story itself lacks substance. This one really, really lacks substance, and it's very, very disappointing. Didn't really learn anything here, and it just really does feel emotionally empty. And when you consider the fact that Batman's son was shot in the head last issue, and we don't even know, if you're just a Batman reader, you don't even know if Nightwing, he's alive, but he doesn't even reveal that. That's by far the most important thing this issue, and you don't even get that. So I'm gonna stop, guys, because this is a mixed bag. It's on the one hand, it's fast paced, it's quick, but on the other hand, it deals with the very things that I wasn't really interested in. I was more interested in the character side, in terms of how is Nightwing doing, how is Batman going to react to that, not this side story of him, going to Siberia. And who the hell cares about KGBeast's backstory? Look, I know I don't mean to be script doctor here, but KGBeast, really, who cares? I mean, he's a hired gun, and I don't know. Again, it's a miss for me. Story-wise, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10. Art, I got to give it an 8.5. Guys, tell me what you think, and until next time, Comic Boom out.